Hi everyone, welcome back. This is the 43rd video in our series on building a chess engine from scratch in the Java programming language. Our focus has been on executing the special moves. In the last video we covered how do we calculate whether or not we can execute the en passant move and actually carrying out the en passant move itself. And I think we saw that there was a connection between the move class itself and the calculate legal moves method for the respective piece that was being moved. And I would say that in this regard, en passant is the most challenging to get your head around. It's not that hard. I've tried to simplify it as much as possible. And in this video, I want to talk about promotion. And it shouldn't be too difficult because it uses the same sort of outline that we used in en passant, and it's actually a little bit simpler. So first let's define what promotion is, pawn promotion specifically in the game of chess. So here I'm on the Wikipedia page, and I'll sort of read the first few sentences in the opening paragraph. Promotion is a chess rule that a pawn that reaches its 8th rank is immediately changed into the player's choice of a queen, knight, rook, or bishop of the same color. The new piece replaces the pawn of the same square as part of the same move, and the choice of new piece is not limited to pieces that have already been captured. It is legal for promotion to result in a player controlling, for example, 2 queens of the same color despite starting the game with 1. Promotion is immediate and mandatory for any pawn that reaches its 8th rank, and the pawn may not remain a pawn. Pawn promotion or the threat of it often decides the result of a chess end game. Right, and this page goes on to give you some more useful information about pawn promotion. Here we see statistically what a pawn is promoted to in most master level games or grandmaster level games, and we can see here, unsurprisingly, that most pawns are promoted to the most powerful piece in the game of chess, the queen. And here we can see some historic grandmaster games where there are actually multiple queens on the board. That was indicated in the rules early in the first paragraph, that you can actually have more than one of that piece type on the board. So that's the outline for pawn promotion. And the first thing I want you guys to think about is here. So let me prepare my IDE here, and I'm going to look at the first thing I want to look at is the alliance class, and so let's go to alliance. And for those of you who might want to know the shortcuts, I hit Control-O in IntelliJ, in the newer versions of IntelliJ, and I just started typing the class name to get to get here. So the first method that I want to define here is I want to define a method called public abstract boolean is pawn promotion square int position. So given a tile ID, I want to detect whether whether that tile is a pawn promotion tile. So let's go ahead and use the IDE to implement the missing method. And for now, let's just return false. Same thing. And actually, the implementation for this method is going to be really trivial. Okay, so for black, right? For black, all we're going to do is we're going to say return board utils dot, and then we're going to ask, is this square on the 8th rank? Right? That's it. And for white, right, all we're going to ask is board utils, dot first rank, right? Position. So now, given we can use the alliance of the piece to determine whether or not for a given piece whether it has reached the square on the board that is in fact a promotion square. Okay? So now that we've done that, the next thing that we want to do is we want to go to the pawn class, and now we basically need to deal with promotions here. And I would argue that this is probably the messiest class that we have. There's a lot of conditional logic here. You know, you could choose to clean this up somehow. I felt like since it was all within one class, then it was okay. But I would say that, you know, there's a lot of technical debt in this class file. The complexity of this class file has gone up given the number of conditionals that exist here. But okay, so having said that, let's go ahead and say that our strategy, our general strategy, is going to be every time that we need to add a pawn move of any type in this class file, we need to see if we want to actually add a pawn promotion move. And the idea that I'm going to introduce here is that the pawn promotion move is just going to be a new move class. It's going to be a new subclass of move, and it's going to wrap the pawn move that exists here. And I'll show you what I mean by that. But basically, the constructor for the pawn promotion is going to take as its argument the pawn move that you're making. And basically, it's just a simple wrapper around the pawn move. Okay? So let's do the easy one first. The case of where you just walk directly into a promotion without an attack. And so here, let's say if this dot pawn piece alliance dot is pawn promotion square. That's the new method that we just wrote. Candidate destination coordinate. So if it is, otherwise, if it's not, that was the case that we just were looking at. If it is, we're going to say legal moves dot add, and we want to do something like this, and we'll fix it later, but we'll say, so like new pawn move, right, board this candidate destination coordinate. And the way it's going to look is that there's actually going to be a wrapping around this. It's going to be like new pawn promotion like that. And obviously we haven't really defined what a pawn promotion is, and that's why the IDE is complaining right now. But we'll leave it like this for now, so it won't compile, and we'll come back and fix it. So now we can delete this to-do. Right? So you can see here, you know, it's a little ugly to have this if-else logic, but that's just the way that we're going to do it for now. Then Right, so you've handled it for 8. Now you basically, let's see, so we know that you don't have to do this here for the pawn jump. There's no way that that the pawn jump in chess is going to result in a pawn promotion, because the pawn jump by definition begins sort of at the beginning rank, right? The starting rank for white and black, and the pawn jump jumps 2 squares, and neither of the ranks are at the the ending, if you will, for the piece. So we can skip that case. Let's see, the case where we are attacking in the 7 direction, sort of. So in that case we can. So we do need to handle it here. So this is going to be very similar. This is going to be the same type of code here, where we're basically, and actually I can just sort of take that code and copy it. So here I can just do that and do that. Right? Boom and boom. And here what we want to do is we want to have this. It's going to be exactly the same. The only difference is that we're going to wrap the pawn attack move, right? We're going to wrap the pawn attack move in a new pawn promotion. That's it. And that's going to give us a little bit of a headache because we haven't created that class yet. And right, so we can now remove that to do. We're attacking in this direction here in the 9 direction, so it's pretty much exactly the same. So we're gonna have oops. So let's copy that code and else. And exactly the same thing here. New pawn promotion. Right? And I think we can remove that. Right. So that should do it. Okay. Now, I think that's right. Pretty sure that's right. So if there's anything that's missing, we'll come back and look at it. So the next thing I want to do is I want to go to the move class, and I want to define, let's go to the move class here. I want to define what this pawn promotion is. Right, so I'm going to say, so let's just jump right in here and say public static class pawn promotion extends move. Okay. And let's see what it's complaining about. Create constructor matching super. And in fact, actually, this is going to look slightly different. What we're actually going to have here is we're going to say final move, decorated move. So we're using a design pattern called the decorator, and we're going to call we're going to say decorated move dot get the board. So we need to write a method called get board. Decorated move dot get moved piece. decorated move dot get destination coordinate, and we're going to keep track of final move decorated move and final pawn promoted pawn, right? I think that's right, and we're going to say this dot decorated move is equal to decorated move, and this dot promoted pawn is equal to pawn cast decorated move dot get move piece. Okay, so we're going to take in the move piece, and we could have passed it in as a pawn, given that we know that the only pieces that we're decorating are a pawn, but I'll leave that up to you if you want to change that in your implementation. So I think we need to write on the move class, we need a get board method. That should fix that issue. Right. Alright, so now we're going to put all the pieces together here, and that's mainly going to happen in the execute method. So let's say, really by doing this, what we get is a nice way to specialize the way we to-string the pawn promotion move. But you'll see here that so we definitely want to isolate these move types. So let's say override. Oops. Override public board execute. Let's just outline each of the moves that we're going to want to. Excuse me. Let's outline each of the methods here that we want to implement. Just say return null for a second. Override public boolean is attack. This one's really easy. We just say return this dot decorated move dot is attack. Right? We just delegate override public piece get attacked piece, return this dot decorated move dot get attack piece. Just turning around and delegating. And the really important one here is the public string to string, which for now we're just going to say return blank. Obviously we have to implement that. And hash code and equals override public int hash code return decorated move dot hash code plus some other little hash that will define promoted pawn dot hash code. That should be unique. And public boolean equals final object other, and this is going to follow a similar pattern to the other moves. Return this is equal to the other referentially, or the other is an instance of a pawn promotion and its super is equals to the other. Right? All the other bits about it are exactly the same. Actually, probably this would be this dot and this dot decorated move equals other. Right? I guess it doesn't matter now. Doesn't matter. Super equals other is this just fine too, because you're passing in all the moose components into the super. Alright, so we've done that. So execute. What do we want to do for execute? For execute, we want to simply say final board pawn move board is equal to this dot decorated move dot execute. We want to delegate. We want to call execute on the decorated move. Okay. Final board builder is equal to new builder, and for final piece in pawn move board dot current players active pieces, if not this dot promoted pawn is equal to the piece that's currently being looped through, then just set it. Right? And then for final piece in pawn move board dot current player's opponent get active pieces, we're going to say builder dot set piece and builder dot set piece this dot promoted pawn dot get promotion piece dot move the piece, and builder dot set move maker to pawn move board dot current players alliance, and return builder dot build. Okay. And so on pawn, it looks like get promotion piece. Right. So on pawn, I forgot to, there is a method that we want to write here. Actually, let's put it down here since public piece get promotion piece. And what we're going to say is return new queen. So here's the thing. We're never going to under promote. Okay, this is just for simplicity. Now, you could, I could make a whole video about this. You could write some code that, detects that if it's a human player, then, we want to, let's make that public. If it's a human player, we want to, by the way, sorry, if you guys just missed that, my pawn promotion class wasn't public. I just made it public. So with regard to this method, what we're saying is that we're always going to promote to a queen, even though there are times, actually, guys, where you don't want to promote to a queen. You might be in a position where you promote your pawn and there's a checkmate in, in the immediate move. Let's say, for example, if you promoted your piece to a knight, right? So there are times where promoting to a queen is not desirable. It's obviously very uncommon. So for the sake of simplicity in our engine, what we're saying is that we're always going to promote to a new queen, and we're going to assign to that queen the current location, the pawn's current alliance, its current position, and what we're going to say is it's not its first move. That's why this is set to false. Okay? All right. So that is about it for pawn promotion. And let me zoom out a little bit here, and I obviously haven't tested any of this yet. Let's try to run it quickly on the fly, see if it's working. If not, that's a good segue into our next video anyway, which is going to be all about test cases. So here, let's just let's get our pawn quickly promoted. So, I gotta turn on the highlight legal moves. Huh. Well, that didn't do it. Okay. Okay, I was able to debug this offline, and I'm going to show you guys the process I used to debug it. So I set a breakpoint in the debugger on this line right here where we're checking for a pawn promotion square, and then basically I ran the program through the debugger, and here, let me highlight legal moves quickly here. And ignore this one. This is not the not there yet. So the breakpoint fires, right? The breakpoint fires a bunch of times before we actually let's uncheck the breakpoint for now. Let's go there, and then we'll come here, then we'll go there, then we'll come here, then we'll reset the breakpoint, right? And we know we want the 7 direction, so that means I'm going to go in the direction of the knight. And here, let's see, it says the current candidate offset is 7, the current piece is a pawn, its alliance is white, its destination location is 3, and we know by looking at our board that tile number 3 corresponds to 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's right. So this should come back as, so if I were to go into the method is pawn promotion square, that should return true, right? So I'm going to step in, and notice it says that board util's first rank of position is equal to false there. So something's not right there. So what I expected the first rank to be, that it is not it. So if I were to say board utils dot first rank, what we can see here is that I actually got my nomenclature backwards, right? So it's true. So first rank is, in my case, yeah, first rank's definitely not what I would have thought. First rank should be the first 8, and it's not the first 8. Okay, so I'm sorry, I typed in 5th rank. First rank. So first rank in my execution is the opposite of what I expect it to be. So I think I could fix this by simply coming in here and saying that for white I want the 8th rank, and for black I want the 1st rank. I think that should fix it. So there's a little bit more in terms of helping you guys with debugging. You know, I hit bugs all the time too, so I've had a couple folks ask me for individual help with debugging code, and best advice I can give you is to become very proficient with using the debugger. So let's go there. Here, it's always fun playing a nonsensical game of chess. And boom, look at that. We've promoted to a queen. So great. I think we've done it, guys. I again apologize for not making videos regularly. I'm going to try to get back on a regular schedule. I want to follow up in the next few videos and talk about testing, and we're going to try to go through that quickly. I'm going to basically import test cases that I've already written and explain a small subset of the test cases that I've written to you, and encourage you to write your own test cases, so extend what I've written. I'll talk about the importance of testing, and then we will jump into the AI, which is an area that I'm really excited about. Okay? Thank you guys for your time.